Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 27 of Your Take, My Take by John and Jacob. I'm John.
I'm Jacob.
And this week we wanted to give you an update on our Week 7 picks and also give you our Week 8 picks of the upcoming games in the NFL. But first of all, we wanted to give a shout out to Michigan State for handling their business at home and beating out the Spartans. As you can see, beating out the Wolverines. As you can see, we're sporting Michigan State. I never really worried about it because we know that Jim Harbaugh cannot win in big games, so I was happy to see that Michigan State came through. So going back, let's go do a recap of Week 7. It was actually pretty close. So my picks, I was 8-5, and Jacob beat me again, 9-4.
It was the Broncos, or is the Broncos Cleveland game?
It was the Broncos Cleveland game was the difference. So again, Jacob gets the honor of wearing the chain.
Yes.
One day.
You wish.
So we wanted to do our take of the Week 8 games. So we'll do that, but we'll start off the coin flip to see who gets to predict the first game.
Heads.
No, you won like 3 times in a row.
All right, you can go first.
All right. So to give you an update, we didn't obviously do this in time to do the Thursday night game. Jacob and I were both at that game, and unfortunately we lost. Heartbreaker. Because of that, I'm going to give us the win and say that we predicted Green Bay to win. So I'm going to put that as Green Bay.
That's funny.
So we'll start off with the first game. It's Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. 2 crappy teams going at it. I don't really care about either one of these teams. But I think Atlanta's playing a little better and their offense is a little better. So I have the Falcons winning at home. I think you're seeing the true colors of Sam Darnold. The last 2 or 3 weeks, he's been awful. And so I think Atlanta with old man Matt Ryan, they're going to pull out a win. And I think you're going to see Patterson being used more in the run game, and I think you'll see that. And so I do have the Falcons winning that game.
All right. Well, we're starting off differently again. I picked Carolina. The one reason is because Atlanta's defense is so bad that any QB can play well against them. We've seen bad QBs play well. And when Sam Darnold plays against bad teams, he does really well.
He played the Giants last week, and they scored 3 points.
They have a good defense, though.
Sam Darnold
had 3 games that Sam Darnold played. He played awesome. And you're not telling me Atlanta has one of the worst defenses in the league. And from that, I think that they're going to win.
I think you're wrong because I think Carolina, you're seeing Sam Darnold revert to his New York Jets days. And if he plays like that...
That's because he's playing better teams.
But you also don't have Christian McCaffrey to make up for those mistakes.
Yeah,
and so I think you're seeing defenses adjust and play Carolina better and make Darnold beat them, and Darnold's not going to beat anything by himself.
This is the one thing that I think I like more, is that Carolina has a solid defense.
Okay.
They have a really underrated defense, and from that, I think that Carolina will pull out that win.
Okay.
All right, the next game is the Miami Dolphins at Buffalo. And this is a pretty simple one. I'm going to go with Buffalo. Last time they played, Miami didn't score a point on them. So this is a pretty easy one for me. It's Buffalo.
Yeah, I had Buffalo, too, at home against the Dolphins. I don't think the Dolphins have enough right now. So I have Buffalo winning pretty handily, and I hope that they do because Josh Allen needs to score some points for my fantasy team, but I think I'm a little worried that it's going to be such a blowout that they're going to just run the ball on the Dolphins, and the Dolphins can't really do anything right now. So I have the Buffalo Bills winning that game. The next game is San Francisco at Chicago. This is actually kind of a hard game to pick because San Francisco isn't playing very well. The Chicago Bears aren't playing very well. I think Mac might be not playing that game, so it hurts their defense. The Bears always have a pretty good defense. Mm-hmm. The question is, their offensive scheme isn't set up for Fields to succeed. I don't know why Chicago never puts in a scheme to help their quarterbacks, young quarterbacks. Justin Fields needs to be set out loose, and they're making him throw like 3 yards.
Yeah,
and
you can't win from that.
Type quarterback. I don't get it. They actually have speed receivers and Allen Robinson, who's pretty good. I just don't understand why they don't. Maybe we don't know something that their front office and their coaching staff knows, but if this is going to be your franchise quarterback, then you live and die with your playbook, with your quarterback, and let him learn it. And you might take the lumps, but it's better to see that than throw 3-yard outs and not get anywhere and it not build his self-confidence. But I do have San Francisco winning this game. I think it's going to be a defensive battle, and I think San Francisco just has more playmakers at this time than the Bears do.
Mm-hmm. I also went with San Francisco just because I think that this will be a defensive battle, but also that San Francisco is going to outcoach the Bears. The Bears don't have a great coaching staff. They just been not playing well. Either team's on offense, but they both are pretty solid on defense. I just think that the 49ers are better coached. This is a hard game for me. Is the Pittsburgh Steelers at Cleveland? I'm gonna go with the Steelers.
Ooh, at Cleveland? Okay.
I don't trust Baker Mayfield. I've never have, but I just trust Big Ben more than him. They have a better offense and their defense is all right, but I think Pittsburgh can beat them, and it is a doable game for them. And from that, I'm going to go with Pittsburgh.
This is a tough game, and the only reason why I had the Browns winning this is because it's in Cleveland. Big Ben can't be trusted anymore. He's not good enough to say you go win us a game anymore. And so I think Cleveland's defense is going to keep them there, and I think their offense, they establish an offensive scheme. They're going to run the ball. They're going to run it right at you. Whoever whatever running back they're going to go, they're going to run it right down at you. And I don't think Pittsburgh has
They
shown.
also don't have any running backs available.
Doesn't matter. Last week they had the undrafted free agent go off. And so
XFL superstar.
But the thing is, their offensive line is really good, and they're dedicated to the run, and so because of that, I think Cleveland's going to win a close one at home. It is obviously a conference game for them, but I think Cleveland will understand, and I think they're going to win this game. Mm-hmm. The next game I have is this is actually a really tough one: Tennessee at the Colts or Indianapolis. Tennessee's playing really well. They're playing very, very well. The Colts defense is very good too, but I just have Tennessee winning this game. I think Tennessee's a better team. I think Carson Wentz is playing well, but I just don't trust Wentz enough to beat a very good team like Tennessee. So I have Tennessee winning that game, but it's going to be a close game because the Colts at home with their running attack and Wentz playing well, and their defense is always solid. I still have Tennessee because I think Tennessee's offense is that explosive, and so I have Tennessee beating the Colts.
Mm-hmm. I am also going with Tennessee. Tennessee plays very well what they do. They run the ball with Derrick Henry. They have great clock management, and I don't really bet against Derrick Henry anymore because he's on my fantasy team too. But they beat the Chiefs last week. Is that right? Yeah, they did beat the Chiefs last week, and
pretty handily too.
It's because Derrick Henry and they chew up so much time that teams don't have enough time to do anything. And Tennessee is actually a very underrated, or I would say very underrated team because people thought they were pretty bad after they lost to the Jets, but they have been playing better, and from that I'm going to go with Tennessee. The next game is the Cincinnati Bengals at New York versus the Jets. This is pretty simple. I'm going Cincinnati. The Jets are awful. They don't even have Zach Wilson, but that wouldn't help. That I wouldn't choose otherwise if they did have him. Cincinnati is looking really good right now with all of the receivers. And
I have Cincinnati winning that game too. The Jets are terrible. They're just a terrible team. Cincinnati looks like an up-and-coming team defensively and offensively, and so I have Cincinnati winning that pretty handily. The Jets the best thing that could happen is Zach Wilson got hurt and he can just kind of wash away the season and say that his injury caused, because let's be honest, they're not giving him any help. And we talked about it before, but before we get to that point, Tennessee's left tackle, Taylor Lewan, he just needs to shut his mouth. He's a Michigan man, and he always thinks that Michigan's better than Michigan State, and he gets smacked down again. And so, Taylor, you need to get healthy and you need to play better because Chandler Jones got 5 sacks on you when we played you in week 1. You shouldn't be talking about anything besides getting healthy and try to play the game, your own game, let alone try to chime into the Michigan game, because you know what happened? We've been smacking you down since you left there. We've been smacking you down. And so I just wanted to say that because he always talks all this trash, and he's been awful lately. And so
Yeah,
just wanted-
he's awful.
He shouldn't predict anything. He should just rehab his knee and hopefully get better.
Yeah.
All right. So the next game I have is the Los Angeles Rams versus the Houston, not Oilers, the Titans. Is it Titans anymore? It's
No.
Houston. How come I can't think of their name right now?
Texans.
That's how bad they are.
They're the Texans.
The Rams are going to win this game pretty easily. Houston will, maybe score a couple points, but the Rams are going to have their way. I hope the Rams lose just because I want them to continue to go down in the rankings. But the Rams should win that even at Houston. Houston's a mess right now. I don't know who's worse, Houston or the Jets. But
It's the Jets.
But I have the Rams winning this one.
Yeah. LA's a decent. They're a pretty good team. Not better than the Cardinals, but they are a good team. Houston's awful. They're just playing bad, and from that, LA's gonna win easily. The next game is New England at LA or the LA Chargers. This is an easy one for me. I'm gonna go with the Chargers. Chargers, when they play, they're kind of weird when they play. They'll either score like 30 on you or 3. They got shut down by Baltimore, but I believe that they're coming back and they're gonna be doing well.
New England's defense is actually better than Baltimore's. The problem is New England doesn't have Lamar Jackson. They have Mac Jones.
Yeah.
So I have the Chargers winning this. I think it's going to be a lot closer than Jacob thinks it is. I don't think it's going to be an easy win for them because New England's defense is pretty good. And if they get their running game started, then it makes Mac Jones that much better. The problem is I always kind of favor the home team a little bit. And so it's at Los Angeles and the Chargers home field. So I have the Chargers winning this. I think it's going to be closer. I don't think New England's as bad as Jacob thinks they are. I think their defense is, like I said, they're pretty solid. And I actually like Mac Jones. I think he's not as bad as people think he is. They should have beat Tampa Bay when they played. And so I have, even though with all that said, I still have the Chargers winning this one, but it's going to be close.
Okay.
All right, the next game is Jacksonville Jaguars at Seattle. This is kind of my sleeper pick. I have Jacksonville beating Seattle. And the reason why, let's be honest, Seattle isn't very good right now. Wilson was a big part of their offense. Their running game is still taking a while to develop. And also, if your quarterback can't get the ball to your playmakers like DK and Lockett,
Tyler, yeah.
They're not going to do anything. Their defense is all right still, but I think Jacksonville is going to sneak out a road win, the first one for Urban Meyer, and I think they're gonna win at Seattle because I just don't think Seattle's very good right now, and I think Jacksonville has their running game's better. I think Trevor Lawrence is better than Geno Smith, and I think Jacksonville's defense is not very good, but I just don't think the offense for Seattle is good enough to keep in there. So it's going to be a close one, but Jacksonville in Seattle.
I'm gonna go with Seattle on this one. I think they're all right. Seattle's nothing special, but I don't think Jacksonville's really that good. Their defense is awful, and you can't win from only offense. I think Geno Smith will put up points in this game. I think this will be a closer game, but I think Seattle will win just from coaching as well. Next game.
What, you think Pete Carroll's a better coach than Urban Meyer?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah. Urban Meyer's a college coach, but he's realized that the NFL is a different animal, and he can't sign his players that played for him in college and expect them to do the same thing.
I think Urban Meyer's going to get much better.
I think he's gonna get fired soon.
No.
All right.
If he can escape the scandal of him at the bar with that young woman, I think he could survive a bad season. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead.
Maybe. Next game is Washington at Denver. I'm never gonna go with Denver. Just if you don't know why, just watch the last video. But I'm gonna go with Washington. I think this will be a high scoring game. But
Ooh, really?
yeah, I think that Washington will play well and Denver will somehow choke. I don't know how they will, but they will choke. And that's how.
On paper, you should think that Denver should win this game.
Mm-hmm.
Washington isn't very good. They're banged up. Denver is at home. But I actually have Washington winning this game, too. I think it's going to be actually not a very fun game to watch. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points. I think it's going to be like 20-17, things like that. I just don't think Denver has enough offense, and Washington's offense is kind of broken down right now. But Washington has better playmakers. They just aren't They're just not utilizing them like they should. So I have Washington winning that game. The next game, this is going to be a good one too. Tampa Bay at New Orleans. And I think it's going to be closest because it's at New Orleans. And New Orleans and Tampa Bay always play each other tough. New Orleans' defense is stellar. But Tampa Bay is just better offensively. Let's be honest. I mean, Brady or Winston, who's better? Brady. The thing is, you have Kamara, who is a big X factor, but you also then have 3 stud receivers at Tampa Bay compared to 3 no-names in New Orleans.
Callaway.
Well, he wouldn't even make it on the field if he was at Tampa Bay. Yeah. So I had Tampa Bay winning this game. I think it's going to be close, but I think everyone's talking about both defenses being good. I think it could be kind of a decently high-scoring game. So we'll see. I have Tampa Bay beating the Saints I hope Tampa Bay loses, but I think they're going to win that one.
Yeah, I think this will be a sneaky shootout game. The one problem I have with this game is that they're both good defensively, but New Orleans runs the ball a lot and gives the ball a lot to Kamara, and Tampa Bay has been playing very good run defense. That's probably one of their biggest strengths, or their biggest strength on defense. And when you look at it, who do you trust more, Tom Brady or Jameis Winston? You go with Tom Brady. Tom Brady's going to find a way to win, even though these games have been close. It's because of Drew Brees, but now they have Jameis Winston. So I'm going to go with Tampa Bay.
Going back to this, I don't know why people don't utilize this more. Leonard Fournette is not going to beat teams by himself. So why don't they let Leonard Fournette get 30 touches?
The ball.
Yeah, and then go after Brady. I would put pressure on Brady every single time. If you put pressure on Brady, we have seen that Brady isn't nearly as good. And so I don't know why they just don't sell out the farm and go after him and let Fournette get his 7 to 8 yards. Who cares? Mm-hmm. And I just want anyone else to beat me, not Brady. and I don't know why defenses don't do that more. Just you know what? Hit him hard a couple of times and see what happens. I just don't know why teams don't do that. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm. This is going to be Sunday Night Football, Dallas at Minnesota. I'm going to go with Dallas. They have top 5 offense in the league. Their defense is just all right. It won't win them games, but it won't lose them games. It's just off offense. I think this will be a pretty high scoring game. But when you look at the teams, I'm going to go with Dallas just because they have a better offense.
I think their offenses are actually pretty comparable. Besides, I tell you the truth,
Kirk Cousins is not comparable to Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I think they are. Yes, they are. Look at the numbers. The numbers have always suggested that Cousins is right there with some of the top quarterbacks in the league. And I'm not just saying that because he's a Spartan, but he also has put up big numbers. And let's be honest, if you look at their offenses, they're very similar. They both have a great running back. I think Cook's better than Ezekiel, but I think Cook's better. They have good receiving core. Both of them have unbelievable receivers. But who's better, Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb, Adam Thielen or Amari Cooper? I mean, it's very comparable. Here's the thing. I think the Vikings are going to win this game. It's at home.
No way.
The Vikings have been in every single game. And the Vikings should have won at Arizona, and they should have beat Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, those are 2 of the top teams in the NFL. They're better than the Dallas Cowboys. Both those teams I mentioned, the Bengals and the Cardinals, are better than the Cowboys. And the fact that they should have won those games and they missed because of field goals or extra points being missed, that just means that they can compete with anyone offensively. I think it's going to be a matter of who can create more turnovers on defense and who has the ball more. And if the Vikings at home are able to do that, they're going to win. And I think the Vikings are going to win in a shootout. And I think it's going to be a close game, but it's going to be a very high-scoring, entertaining game. And the Vikings win. And my boy Kirk Cousins throws for over 300 yards with at least 3 touchdowns. Probably a bad interception thrown in there too. But it's going to be a win for them.
It's mind-boggling that you think Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins are similar.
What has Dak done in his career? Besides have one of the most gruesome injuries. Yeah. Nothing else. He's having a good start of the season, I'll give him that. But Kirk Cousins has been more consistent throughout his career.
Yeah. I think I like Dallas better, and I think Dallas is better than Cincinnati.
Oh, I don't think so. I think Cincinnati's pretty good. Unfortunately, I hate to say that because whatever's out of Cincinnati, I think is awful. But the Bengals are pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, going to the Monday night game. It's the Giants at Kansas City. I hope and pray this should on paper it should be an easy. Kansas City should win that.
It's gonna be a shootout.
But so far, Kansas City hasn't done anything for me to feel comfortable to say that they're guaranteed to win any games anymore. Mahomes is looking very human now. Their running game is nowhere to be found. And if teams can shut down Tyreek and shut down Travis Kelce and make secondary players, produce, they found a way to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But you're also playing against the Giants, and it's at Kansas City. So I think the Giants will get pretty much spanked in this game. But I'm not as confident as I used to be. But I think Kansas City should win at home. If Kansas City loses at home to the Giants, I might say that we just write them off this year. Literally just write them off because their defense has never shown up. They have two of the highest paid defensive ends and can't produce a sack. I mean, it's really sad that we talk about the Chiefs this way, where they were once probably a Super Bowl favorite.
They were thought to go 17-0 this season.
Now I don't know if they're struggling to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And so I do have Kansas City winning this game. What about you?
Yeah, I have Kansas City. I'm not as confident as I hope I would be. The one thing that reassures me is that the Giants, I don't think have Saquon Barkley still, and Danny.
Is he even on the Giants anymore? Because he seems to be more on the injury list, and
he joined that team like 2 years ago. But they also have Daniel Jones. He's not that good, but I think it will still be a close game though.
No, I don't think it'll be close.
Just because of how
if it's close. Then we can say there's some real issues with the Chiefs and feel confident that the Chiefs have a lot of issues and they might not even make the playoffs if it's close.
Moves. Yeah.
So those are our picks. I hope.
We think we missed a game.
Who's that?
The Philadelphia and Detroit.
Oh, we did miss that game.
I think we were saving that one for last.
We are saving that for last. I have Detroit winning. And I'll say it again. It's at Detroit. We can't continue to lose. I mean, we can, but I think this is a chance for us to right the ship. We're in there most of the games. I mean, we played the Rams tough last week. There was a couple of things that, they're just better than us. But the Eagles aren't better than the Lions. The Eagles are not better than the Lions. And so I have the Lions winning this game, and I have the Lions winning double digits. I'm just saying that right now. Now, I'm getting greedy because I just want them to win, but I think they're going to win by double digits in this game because I don't think Miles Sanders on the IR, and if we can shut down Jalen Hurts and his ability to scramble in his rushing attempts, we're going to win this game. And I think Detroit's defense isn't that bad. And so Detroit wins by double digits. Detroit, don't fail me.
All right, before I tell you why Philadelphia will win, I do like Detroit.
No. How can you say you like Detroit? We have losing to a very crappy Eagles team at home at Detroit.
Detroit's going to make Jalen Hurts look really good.
No.
Nobody can guard Devontae Smith. Do you know any? Can you name players that play on the defense?
You don't have to. You don't have to. We have good safeties. So
can you name a safety on that team?
Yeah, Harris. Harris is a good safety. Harris
plays on the Lions, so it probably is not a good safety.
Harris and any corner that they have can double team Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith right now is a deep threat. And so if they shut him down, which they can, any NFL team can shut down one receiver. That's all they have is one receiver.
They also have Kenneth Gainwell. I don't like to admit, but he's pretty good. He's a good receiver.
You're randomly picking up people to say that they're going to beat the Lions. You could just say you like the Lions and you're going to pick the Lions.
No.
I'm just saying.
The Lions they have the worst coach in the NFL.
No, they don't. No.
Dan, he's the worst coach in the NFL.
No, he's not.
Why do they always lose? It's because of the coaching. You don't stack the box when you're up on the game-winning drive. No, you send everybody out. It's simple knowledge. Literally, it's textbook knowledge. You don't stack the box. What are they going to do? Run the ball? No, Detroit they're idiots on the last plays. That's why they always lose.
How does Dan Campbell think, you know what? Even if they get 20 yards on that play against Baltimore, how would he predict that Justin Tucker is going to set the NFL record in a field goal to beat them? How can Dan Campbell think that? He put 4 people back and rushed on the middle and left the middle open. It wasn't a bad strategy. It just happened to be that Tucker has the most powerful leg in the NFL.
They always, and you're trusting Goff. I think Jalen Hurts is better than Goff.
Well, I look at the schedule, they're not going to go winless. This is the first game that I can say with pretty good confidence that we're a better team than the Eagles.
I don't know. I think they're very comparable, and just because of how badly Detroit is coached,
shame on you.
No, not shame on me.
Shame on you, Jacob.
I'm confidently going with Philadelphia.
We're going to change your birth certificate to say you were not born in Detroit.
No, at Detroit Sports, I almost bet against them.
I know you do. Yeah. Well,
besides Michigan State.
There is our Week 8 picks. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I hope this helped if you're betting or whatever you guys are doing.
Listen to me.
So Jacob has beat me the last 2 weeks, unfortunately.
Pretty handedly.
But no, not handily. He beat me by 1 game both weeks. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, this is episode 27 of Your Take, My Take by John and Jacob. I'm John.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you guys later.